Hi everyone, my name is Helen and my channel is North Girl Gone South. Today's DIY is going to be a pumpkin topiary. I'm going to make the stacked pumpkins in neutral colors. The three pumpkins that I'm using is the Blessed and Grateful or Grateful and Blessed for the bottom pumpkin. The middle pumpkin, I believe, is the plain, and the top pumpkin is the 3D. The bottom pumpkin is going to be a green. I'm going to do muted colors. So I use the olive green, it's an acrylic paint, and I mixed it with some of the white chalk paint to lighten it up. I did add a little bit too much of the white, so you're going to see me try to darken it a little. I love me some white chalk paint. The middle pumpkin, I will be making a gray color, and the top pumpkin will be a muted orange. I do like the more neutral, muted colors. I do like traditional Halloween colors, but I feel like more of a farmhouse look. If you go a little more muted, I'm into the muted colors this year. Maybe next year it'll change, but for now I'm going to mix the paint until I'm 110, and I'm going to look at it, add a little spritz, and think that it made a big difference on the green. Sorry guys, this is my first voiceover, and it's a lot harder than you think. So the first pumpkin is going to be the bottom pumpkin. I actually only had to give each one of the pumpkins one coat, because once I'm done painting the pumpkin, I'm going to do a little bit, very little shading. It gives it, not only does it give it a little bit of depth, but it also detracts from any brush strokes, or if you see any of the brown or beige peeking through, or any imperfections on the pumpkins. Once I'm done with the green pumpkin, I will move on to the gray pumpkin. This is the bottom pumpkin. I picked to make the orange pumpkin on top because it's the most traditional pumpkin for Halloween or the fall. This is actually more a fall DIY than Halloween. Also, don't forget to do the sides. I did originally start to put the paint away and then realize that I forgot the sides, because if you're going to hang it up, you will see the sides. If you stand it up, lean it against something, you will see the sides. It's very rare you won't see the sides. Right now I'm doing the shading. All I did was put a little dot of the original color on the plate, and now I'm just doing brush strokes in the direction that the natural curves of the pumpkin would be. And I'm doing it while the paint is still wet so that it doesn't make those harsh dark lines. It blends so much better when you do it like that. I do my shading much lighter than some of the other DIY YouTubers. Not that either one is better or worse. I just like more subtle, and you'll see as it dries, it does darken. All the colors do darken as time goes on once they dry. Like this looks so light. As it dries, you'll see it gets a little bit of a deeper color. I don't do the stem because I will be layering the pumpkins, and you won't see the stem at all. See, so now I go back and I do the sides. That is, the bottom pumpkin is the Grateful and Blessed pumpkin. I know as my first voice over, this video may drag a little, but it was so worth doing this DIY. I have so many DIYs that I have planned, and I'd like to do them all as voiceovers like this, because it does make it easier to do a DIY where you don't have to have your house silent or have it where the dog's not barking. I know you guys on YouTube and DIYers know my struggle. The struggle is real. For those of you who have kids or animals or husbands, it's very difficult to get time away where you're noise free, especially when you don't have a separate craft room. So now that the green is finished, I'll move that to the side and begin to mix my gray. And that's going to also be a lighter muted gray color. These are the plain pumpkins that I originally didn't pick up any because I didn't think I'd need them, but saw when I went to Hobby Lobby and Joann's all of these layered or topiary pumpkin decorations that they were looking for $20, $30+ for, and I knew I could recreate it for a super fraction of the price. If you look at how much it cost, it's everything that I used was from the Dollar Tree, everything. Except one of the, I think the green paint wasn't from Dollar Tree. But that was, I believe, 50 cents at Walmart. So nothing cost more than $1. The 3 pumpkins were from the Dollar Tree. You've seen them in my hauls. The sunflowers that I'll put on and the ribbon that I use for decoration was also from the Dollar Tree in my hauls. So there's nothing in this. This is a total Dollar Tree DIY. And even for the paint, I did get it at Walmart for 50 cents, but the Dollar Tree does carry a huge array of paint colors, and all you would have to do is mix some of the green, maybe with a little white and brown to get that olive color, and lighten it up. Now this one is going to be this lighter gray. You can use they have enough of the basic colors that you could make any color you want. I mean, my chalk paint was from probably Michael's, but I'm down to the nitty gritty. So I do need to find white chalk paint, or I do have a recipe for chalk paint. I may try it with baby powder, talc baby powder, and acrylic paint. I did buy some white paint, and we'll see. But the black paint that's on my table and the other colors that I have on the table, I don't think you could see. A lot of them came from Dollar Tree, and I do mix a lot of paints to get certain colors, because when the COVID situation happened, there wasn't any paint to be had, so you had to get creative with your paint situation, and Dollar Tree had plenty of paint, but it's more of like primary colors. They are starting to get darker purples, different shades of orange and browns, but when I went there, it was more like the school colors. And then you pull out the color wheel and start creating colors. I mean, the gray is simple. I just mixed black and white, but you could get all different shades. They have a nice, now they have a dark purple and a light purple, but you could mix the purple with black to make it a little darker, white to make it lighter. You could make probably any shade with the color of paints that the Dollar Tree carries now. Now I'm just taking the original darker gray color to shade the pumpkin. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing it in the strokes where the shadows would be on a pumpkin. Not that there's such thing as a gray pumpkin, but you know what I'm saying. And then I'll do the outside of the pumpkin, just, like the very, very outside of it, just to give it a little more. But the key to this shading is to do it while the paint is still wet and it blends seamlessly. You can't even tell. I have to say the shading comes out almost perfect when you do it when the paint is wet. Also on the gray pumpkin, I'm not going to do the stem because we are going to be layering them. And do the sides. Where I'm going to put the pumpkin, you probably won't see the sides, but if I change it up at some point or next year, I put it in a different place, you probably really don't want to have to start painting a project that's already done, So now I'm going to go to the smallest pumpkin, which is the 3D pumpkin. I did get a few of them. So you could see right there, it's the 3D pumpkin, but I'm going to use the back of it, not the 3D side. And do the orange. I do originally try to make a lighter because that orange color I have is supposed to be a pumpkin orange, but it's a little bit pink. It's got an undertone. It's very bright, and it has a little bit of a pink undertone. So as soon as I put the white paint, it turns into a lighter pink, which is definitely not the color that I'm looking for. So, in my infinite wisdom, instead of grabbing brown, which would have deepened the orange color, I grabbed black because, yet again, I wasn't paying attention, and it turned it into yuck. So I do test it out and look at it and go, okay, instead of a pumpkin, it's going to look like a giant peach. So we're not going to do that. So I grab the black and put it in and turn it into nothing that resembles pumpkin orange. So that's not going to work. So at the end of the day, I go back to my tried and true orange. It does give it a grayish undertone, but it's more of an orange than anything else, and I have to say, even when I painted the orange on the pumpkin, I was a little concerned that gray, not that it wouldn't match, but that gray would come through more. But you'll see when I do the shading, I do this shading with the straight up orange, and it came out perfect. Like the end result is exactly what I wanted. I wanted a muted orange, and that's exactly what I got, which is good. So once I finish painting the top pumpkin, and I'm going to apologize ahead of time, and I will not think anything poorly or badly of you if you speed through the next couple of seconds after I finish shading, because I'm going to shade right now the orange pumpkin, and I love the color, and especially once it dries, it's a beautiful orange. And that little bit of shading with the original orange color makes it just perfect. I did right after this, and like I said, I'm going to apologize ahead of time. I thought that I hit pause because I do get up to throw out the plates and make a little room, because I am doing this on my dining room table, even though it's covered. So I forgot to hit pause, and I went to go throw out the plates and rinse my brushes real quick. And then when I came back, realized that it wasn't on pause. So, like I said, I do apologize. If you need to speed it up a couple of seconds, I have no ill will. And I don't blame you. But I will be back in a second or two. I just didn't want the brushes to sit with the paint on them. I promise I will get better at these voiceover DIYs. This is my first, so please give me a little slack on this. But it does, the finished product does come out really nice. And I put it, when I took the picture at the end, you'll see when I show you it, and I will post it on my channel, the finished picture, where I put it. Oh, see, I'm back. And I am, oh, this is the part I use my blow dryer to dry it. See, look, like magic. I use the blow dryer, it's all dry. I made a bow, a simple, just tie your shoe bow, because I'm not the best bow maker, but I'm working on it. And that buffalo plaid that I'm using for the bow was from the Dollar Tree. I was going to use that and burlap, but after I looked at it, it was so much more me with just the buffalo plaid. Now I'm just using hot glue to put the pumpkins together. And I realize as I'm putting them, sometimes the pumpkins in Dollar Tree are not level. So I just want to make sure that the pumpkin, once it's layered and I stand it up, that it's not wonky. So that's why I stood it up. And I'm sorry that when I'm putting the bow on, it's not in the shot. Again, learning. But I used a hot glue gun. Let me tell you, I got this hot glue gun. It's a cordless too. It could be used as a cordless. From Lidl. I don't know if you guys know what store that is. It's like an Aldi's. I think I paid $20. It's got a holder. It's got the charger and everything. Maybe 15. Oh my God. I love this glue gun. It's great. I can't link it below because I didn't get it from Amazon. Again, sorry that you can't see, but I will make up for it. I do pull it down. But those three colors look amazing together. I think it's such a nice, neutral, muted pumpkin stack. And I just hot glued the bow at the top. Those leaves there are fern, and they're long picks that I got from the Dollar Tree. And I just want to use the leaves because I love those dark green leaves behind the sunflower. I'm going to be adding a sunflower. I just put 2 leaves behind the sunflower to give it a little bit more oomph, because the leaves that come with the sunflowers are tiny. These are a little more substantial, and you'll see at the end, they just look so much prettier. Then I just pulled off sunflower, again from a Dollar Tree pick, and glue it. right to the middle of the bow. And you'll see right there, simple bow, nothing difficult. And then I'm like, it needs something else. And I didn't want to put a vinyl saying, which you are more than welcome to put sayings or pictures or cut some vinyl on your Cricut or your Silhouette. I wanted to keep it more of pumpkin, sunflower, something neutral, something, simple. So I took 2 more of the fern leaves. I attached them in between the second and third pumpkin at the bottom, and then took another sunflower and cut the little piece of stem that was sticking up off, added some hot glue, and then put that at the bottom. I love this. I will post pictures of where it finally lands. I'm going to show you the full thing. If you like this DIY, I will be posting more, I promise, and they will be getting better. Please subscribe. Please like this video. Leave a comment. I love the comments. I will fix the camera so you can see the whole thing. Subscribe, like, share. It does help my channel, and it will get better in time. Love it, love it, love it. You guys have a great day, and I will see you again in my next video. Thank you, guys.